so they were just interfering with you because you were helping to override their agenda?
Yeah, and then I've never seen a vampire before. So here's the thing. This is going to sound really crazy. Let me explain it for people who have a science mentality. So this virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality, this allows machines to connect with the pineal gland and your body. So you can see things and sense things that are always around you in a digital image that bother you or affect people, but you don't see that. So if you bring us this different information up to a scientist or average person, they will not be able to accept it. Even there's something in the brain that literally blocks into it until they're able to see it. So that's why it goes to 5G and then 6G. It's cybernetic enhanced, then literally connect with the network. And then they're like, that is a digital image that we have created with our virtual and mixed reality. Oh, now it has become conscious. We have a conscious vampire, or we have a conscious AI. So there's actually digital images of life forms all around us, and they can manifest into, like you said, aliens or a vamp or anything you want. So I had that attack me when the coronavirus hit, and I was like, okay, they're talking about bats. And this is, anyway, it was a digital image, but it could be a manifested image, right? But it was really attacking me. So I was working 20 hours a day, and I was trying to, on social media and trying to just knock out all this digital field that's trying to bother people. And I don't have that much power. It just, I'm really good at moving in and out. So you said I can go really deep, right? This is the deepest I've ever gone in an interview.
Oh, please.
So in terms of having any experience with aliens, I never talked about this until I tweeted to President Trump and the Pentagon, the CIA, the video, AI, the plan to invade humanity. As soon as I tweeted that, on the third or fourth day, I was having an interview with an alien network. That exact same day, the Pentagon released their UFO files, some of them, right? So I think I got President Trump and the Pentagon to release it because they had me on a watch list for a long time, because they're like, how does one guy and whatever is behind him know all these things, right? So they have me on a watch list, and they're like, just what's he doing? And they realize, okay, he's trying to help us. Okay, then he's been on the mark with these things. Da, 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 da. So I sat down with some people, and I didn't even know they're going to show me these things. But the person was paid more than $30-40 million decades ago, and he was given machinery to be able to see spaceships. So he showed me 30-40 years of actually footage and images, and about 10 of the images showed actually alien beings inside the spaceships. And there was various ones. One of them looked human, and there's one that actually was a hologram. So we had a discussion about that. He thought, well, maybe it's not really a hologram. Maybe he's projecting a hologram so that he can move through a certain space time in a certain way, or maybe he's projecting a hologram for us to not be able to see what he looks like. But then there was other images he showed me that looked like a little ETs. So when I did this little video, there's multiple inner meanings. It's, if you're at a political level, you'll see that. Religious level, you'll see that. If you believe in aliens, you'll see that. Pandemic, you'll see that. And I put solutions for what people need to do. So it's not just about aliens. It shows you the entire picture of everything. And I kind of like, I don't want to use the word, I made it simple, and I packed it into a narrative. And it has 41,000 views. It should have 41 million by now. But anyway, I throw out a lot of stuff, and maybe you'll get a lot of comments, people saying that guy's nuts. So, but in the future, you'll see I'm not nuts, because I was right about all these things.
Yeah, genius is yeah. So, I mean, like we got this stuff breathing down our necks. So you're trying to get, the attention of as many as possible, particularly, Trump, and you see all these threats and dangers that are like a program unfolding in different stages with different viruses, not just this one. And we're seeing this incredible lockdown. Do you feel that we have what it takes to completely counteract this? Do you feel like big waves of positive change are like happening? I mean, when you just kind of like wake up in the morning, are you like, we totally got this? Or are you like, oh my gosh? I mean, like how are you processing all this, knowing what you know? And what's in front of us?
It's a constant battle, because people have free will. and people also have like things that they have done, right? And a lot of people have done bad things: human trafficking, sex trafficking, even child rape, and all, and organ harvesting in China. So I put in this video a short portion of it, that the past 20 years, um, the Chinese communist regime has been organ harvesting a lot of people, particularly the Falun Dafa practitioners, the Christians, the Tibetans, Uyghurs, and the common citizen. In my master's, I brought the Canadian Secretary of State, David Kilgour, David Matus, and they both concluded in '06 that 41,000 transplants were unaccounted for. 2016, they concluded that every year per year, since 2001 until today, or 2016, 60 to 100,000 transplants were unaccounted for. So they were like, okay, we have 110,000 transplants we found, but we only have 10,000 donations. Where'd you get that? The Chinese government lied. And that's only what they found. So when they go around, they look at a hospital and just what's publicly available, they count that many. Imagine the military operations. Imagine the hidden hospitals and all these different things. So how many people in the world flew down to China, brought cash? They had websites, right? Come down, 40-hour wait time, you get liver, kidneys from the US, Canada, from Israel. And how many people in the world were complicit in knowing there was concentration camps? Why did I name Obama and Biden? Joe Biden took $1.5 billion. And Biden and Obama both were told that these concentration camps and slave camps were going on. And they weren't just told by human rights groups. They were told by briefings at the White House. And the previous administration had notes from George W. Bush. And he got bogged down in Iraq. And I was sort of going to name him, but I didn't, because he tried to do some things and he couldn't because of 9/11. And I mainly picked the left because they were the last to mess up, but I put in there unlimited. But I didn't want to hurt anybody because everybody's a victim. It's not just the left that did the right bad things, also the conservative bad things. I'm at fault too. Everybody is at fault. It's like the entire society somehow, if they were complicit into it. So why did I charge them with complicity? Because after 1953, what happened to the Jewish people and what happened to the Christians in Russia by the communists, Trotsky, Stalin, and what happened to people around the world with Mao Zedong, all the communist socialist movements. Over 200 million people died and billions are in misery, including Iran. Iran became a socialist Islamic regime. So they passed a law called complicity, Article 3. And this states, if any person or entity or business or government, if they're complicit in crimes against humanity and prevention thereof or the reaction thereof, they can be charged with city, state, national, international tribunals. So just think about it. Why do we get all this made in China stuff? Why do we invest all this money? Why did Obama let that? And President Trump was trying to stop that. He was trying to expose these things, right? But he was being attacked left and right with this political, anyway, everyone understands this. So there's multiple reasons why this is happening. And it's not a coincidence everyone is sitting home. And society is not like what it was. So I wrote another book called Raped by a Digital Social Program. It was 3 books I wrote in the summer. And this showed how the majority of females in the world are actually raped, and the majority of them. And how this started with socialism, because the subtitle says you'd have to look at it. And basically, family and traditions and a lot of women's lives were destroyed by what the Russian spies did by bringing in socialism. They couldn't take over the U.S. They took over China, right? The thought they took over Russia, but the military, they couldn't take us out. So they infiltrated Hollywood, likes of like Hugh Hefner, and then all this porn came out, and then the drugs, the addictions, and then all the heart porn, and then the depiction of raping girls in the porn, and the bestiality, which you shouldn't watch. It actually, it's really bad for your mind and body. It actually replicates it inside of you and hurts you. And then down to, the pedophilia. So in my university, I'm in a doctoral program, I'm paying 60 grand a year, and they're sitting down and they're saying, it's perfectly normal. That's what they say. It's perfectly normal for a man, an old man, to have feelings for a young little boy. And they're like, and I do a report about organ harvesting and different things. and nobody will collapse. And how China is threatening all the world's citizens in the future. And they're disapproving my RRB reports.
It's
They're
just,
literally, yeah. So
it's just
that was 10 years
unbelievable
ago.
how much darkness there is. But you know, humanity's awakening, right? And, you know, do you see mass arrest? Do you feel like justice will be done in time to keep this 5G, to keep this this plan for extermination? I mean, are
So,
there greater forces at work that you feel
yeah.
confident about?
So in this video, I put that the creator has another plan. So AI, the plan to invade humanity, and I put the creator has another plan. So and I put solutions for us, and they're very simple. I mean, I can explain in a very complex way, but they're very, very simple. First is to truly repent if we've hurt anybody, our friends or family members or spouses or strangers, or inadvertently truly repent deep in our hearts and repent for being complicit to this Canton China, because everything is coming from China. The whole world is staring at China at the moment. Why were we complicit to the Falun Dafa, the Christian, Tibetan, Uyghurs, and the common citizens for so long? And then secondly would be really to expose the Chinese communist regime. Expose them, because that has a digital field behind them, and that digital field literally I saw extinction codes for humanity originate from China, and it connects to big tech, and it takes everybody out in stages. The third one is really important as well, super important, to really truly deep in your heart to have a wish to be awakened, enlightened, and have a future. It would deep in your heart to have that wish, because the next stage, as I put in the video, will be a glorious stage. It will be a great awakening. So it's interesting. I come out, and I've been talking about the Great Awakening for 20 years. I'm not in social media ever. I just had a Twitter account in September because I came out. Well, I prepared all the stuff to come out, and when I brought it out, everybody either plagiarized from me, they laughed at me, slandered me, or ignored me for months. And then even to this day, it's like, and I'm like, I'm trying to help, like, prevent disaster, save people. In fact, assist in saving people's lives, and they're hurting me. So I'm like,
this is the mind control, right? The social engineering.
Yes, it's the biodiversity, because it's the force behind it. It's a dark force that even uses good people against me. Thousands of people were mobilized against me. Thousands of people, tens of thousands of people actually, behind the scenes. And so many, wherever I go, they'll help me a little bit, and then there's a force that just takes them. And so I'm just a person, right? I'm no savior. I'm just a person. But what I have is some things that came together. I had the martial arts skill, the degrees, and I had certain abilities, and I had a wish. I had a wish to prevent dangers from all the world's citizens since I was a little kid. And then and all these things came into play. But I can't do anything. Like, you have me on your show, and if I didn't have all these exposures, I couldn't get word out. I couldn't. So there's a good thing they stole my stuff, because all my stuff got out there. I weaponized the internet, I weaponized the whole world. The lawsuit that got over 2 billion people saw it, I think. So, and all the media know it. They're just like, he was right. So, but I didn't want to hurt those guys. I never wanted to sue them. I just want everyone to think. So, and people were like, let's have justice right now. Sure, there'll be justice. There'll be arrests. I agree with that. The people who have done harm, they will pay. But at the moment, there's so many interrelated things. People are emotional.